Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Jonathan back again with the Weekly Scuffle, and I'm here to talk about Tua Tagovailoa, the Samoan sniper, the guy who is bringing the Dolphins to the promised land, currently holding the Dolphins on his back, to be honest, because, we were 3-0 to start the season. Tua didn't play 3 games, and then got injured, I believe, in one. And honestly, this is just great to see Tua back. I really think Tua is that guy. I think Tua has been over criticized and, you know, still to this day isn't getting the credit he deserves. He should definitely be in the MVP conversation. Of course, a lot of people now have him in there with Patrick Mahomes. They're 1A, 1B. The Dolphins are undefeated this season with Tua as QB when he starts and finishes the games. And honestly, I can't say anything except how proud I am for Tua because as a Dolphins fan, I was on the tank for Tua train. I was 100% because Joe Burrow, he didn't come on until later in the year. Justin Herbert, I was never really a big fan of him. Granted, he does look good, and I do believe those two guys did have better scenarios than Tua coming in, especially in the coaching department. I think Flores, at least offensively, was not a great coach at all, and definitely held back Tua. And we've seen that this year. You bring in Mike McDaniel's, who I myself was a huge fan of, really like that we signed him, liked it in the offseason, and now it's showing full fruition why we signed him. You bring in Armstead, you bring in Tyreek, you bring in Jalen Waddle. Tua last year had the worst wide receiver core probably in the NFL because they had no separation ability. And even then, Jalen Waddle still had a solid season. Tua had a solid season. He went 16-10. First, in his rookie season, he went 11-5. There's definitely steps for Tua. He's never really had a bad season. You've had some of these QBs like Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields come in here, and they've thrown more interceptions than touchdowns their first 2 seasons or their first season. And Tua gets criticized for, not being great. I won't say he was a world beater by any stretch, but he probably had the worst O line out of anybody else in the league for the past 2 years. You bring in Armstead, Connor Williams has been great. You know, honestly, Tua definitely deserves to be in the MVP conversation. And as for the Dolphins, it's fairly obvious what they need to do. They need to come back from the bye week, get healthy. They get Houston, so that's a good game to get your groove back. And then you have to go on a road trip, and you got to play the Chargers, 49ers, and Bills. 3 teams who haven't quite lived up to par, but are still very solid teams, very good NFL teams, and they're at home. So you got to bring your A game. Looking for the defense to really step up in those games, especially on the road. They've been good at home. They've been bad on the road. But with that being said, Dolphins definitely have a shot to win the division. Definitely have a shot to win the AFC East. And Tua definitely has a shot to win the MVP. But with that being said, we'll see how all this plays out and see you next time. Peace.